Good evening. Welcome to our first ever dual enrollment student orientation. My name is Amy Neerman. I'm the Director of Dual Enrollment at Northern Virginia Community College, and I'm so thrilled that you're joining us this evening. Just a couple housekeeping items before we get our presentation started. There is a chat box on your screen, and if you would please select all panelists and attendees in the to field. It's a little drop-down box. That way everybody can see your question and benefit from the answer. A recording is going to be available after we are complete today, and it will be sent to all registrants, and it will also be shared on the Arlington Public Schools YouTube channel. So good news, if you've missed anything or if you're jumping on late or you have to jump off early or you have a friend that really needs to find out this information, it will be available afterward. So let me just kick things off. Again, my name is Amy Neerman. I'm the Director of Dual Enrollment at Northern Virginia Community College. And I have a few of my team members on the call today. They will be helping out and answering your questions in the chat. Please feel free to place your questions in the chat at any time, although we have a very big presentation and we hope to get most of the things answered in the presentation. First, I'd like to let you know that Katie Imany, our dual enrollment coordinator for Arlington Public Schools, will be on today to help you answer any questions. Mr. Mark Acleo, our program specialist, is also on the call. Ms. Deirdre Magro, our career coach, is on the call. And that is all from the NOVA side of the house. And so again, before we begin, I just want to turn it over to Mr. Tyrone Bird, and he will introduce his team.
Thank you, Amy. I appreciate that. And thanks to everybody for being here tonight. We really appreciate you giving us some time during your summer. We know this has been a busy one and quite unique in its circumstances, but thank you for being with us tonight. So I bring greetings from myself and from Bridget Loft, the Assistant Superintendent of Teaching and Learning. I am Tyrone Bird, the Director of Secondary Education, and I work alongside of Liseth Mosquera, who is here this evening to help us record your questions and comments as the evening progresses. I'm also joined by Ana Lily Caballero, and she is our NOVA Partnership Coordinator, and she'll also be answering questions in the chat and then providing us some information as the conversation goes on. And then Heather Rothenbuscher is with us. She is the Director of Special Education for Secondary Schools, and also Louis Villafane, the Director of Counseling at Arlington Career Center or Arlington Tech. So they are all here with us this evening and willing and able to answer any of your questions about the opening of our school year. So I'm ready to move on to our next slide, Amy. Thank you. So some of the guidelines with regard to our return to school. All of our comprehensive high schools are going to be following the same alternating day block schedule that is now posted on our APS website. It is different than what is going to be offered at the middle school, but it is going to be one that we're going to use at all the comprehensive high schools so that we can maintain continuity of educator and student as the year progresses. We might move into a hybrid model at some point in time, but your student's teacher will not change. So as you'll see in the next bullet, full-time distance learning model and the hybrid model have similar structures, and we're hopeful that we can ensure consistent learning experience across the models if we do make a change. We're going to be reevaluating our status in October if it has been deemed appropriate and safe for us to bring students and educators back into the buildings. Those students who have selected the hybrid model will come back into the schools. Other students will continue to learn full distance from home. So we're hopeful of relieving and alleviating any stress that might be caused by balancing the 7 classes. So students can, if they feel the need, work with their counselors to reduce the number of courses that they're enrolled in. That conversation will begin at the school, but then it will come to my office and we'll have a conversation about the appropriateness of leaving one class aside so that you can focus on other classes. The big question we ask is, will you be able to earn the credits toward the graduation status that you desire, whether that be an advanced studies diploma or a regular diploma? All of our career and technical education classes, the CTE classes that we offer, are going to be offered at our comprehensive high schools. So students are not going to be going from Yorktown to the Career Center or from Wakefield to the Career Center. They are going to be taking those classes remotely from their comprehensive high school. Those CTE classes will be offered to students who are in the Arlington Tech program or in one of the other programs that is housed at the Arlington Career Center. And then the elements of the lab work that are required for parts of our courses, they're going to be addressed by the teachers. We'll figure out a way for those requirements to be addressed in a remote setting. So that is more to come on that. There's going to be a lot of information on our APS VA website. Check Engage. You can ask questions there, but then our planning for reopening is also there, especially the high school for this cohort. Thank you, Amy. I'm ready to move on. Thanks. Okay. So this is our schedule for when we first return in September. We're going to all be full distance learning. Every student will be enrolled in this way. On Monday will be a teacher planning day. There will be some small group interventions and independent asynchronous learning. And then on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we will all be online with teacher-led instruction. There will be a combination of synchronous and asynchronous work every day, Tuesday through Friday. Okay, I'm ready for the next slide. Thank you. And this is the sample of our daily full distance learning schedule on the left, and then you see the Career Center on the right. On the left, you'll see that Mondays are going to be utilized for advisory. There's going to be some asynchronous work there, also some synchronous work led by school staff with regard to social emotional learning. So that work will be done on Mondays, but it is also going to be embedded in the coursework that we do because we know this is a stressful time for students and families. We want to provide them with some support and guidance as they, matriculate through the school year. Teacher planning will also be done on that day, and then teachers and counselors will maintain office hours on Mondays to schedule appointments with students. So there'll be some small group, some one-on-one interventions. All of this stuff will take place on Mondays. But that learning that occurs there will be assigned during the week, and it will be asynchronous on Monday. Tuesday through Friday, you'll see the schedule there. I don't want to eat up our time going through it line by line, but you'll see there is a combination of synchronous and asynchronous in each of the blocks. You'll see that the 95-minute block is made up of 50 minutes of synchronous work. At the beginning of the year, we're going to be tight on how that 50 minutes is going to be utilized. But as the year grows on and teachers and students become more comfortable in this environment, there will be more autonomy per class. But that is only going to happen after we've established our expectations across the school system. And then you'll see the Career Center, a similar schedule, just a little bit of a nuanced difference with regard to the amount of time in each class. But that information, again, is there for you to view on our website. Okay, I'm ready for the next slide. And I think it's all yours, Amy. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Berg, very much. Well, again, I just want to tell everybody welcome to college. You have made a great choice to enroll in dual enrollment courses. And on behalf of Northern Virginia Community College, welcome. Just a few things that you need to know. First and foremost, these are official Northern Virginia Community College courses. You're earning actual college credits, and they go on a permanent college transcript. They will take place in your high school, and I'm putting that in quotes, during the school day. And all of our dual enrollment classes that we're discussing today are going to be taught by one of your high school teachers who we have also credentialed as a NOVA instructor. I can't work my own slides, my apologies. Just a little bit of background information. I've been amazed, I am not a Virginia native, but I'm always amazed how little people actually know about NOVA. We are definitely recognized as a preferred two-year transfer school by many Virginia universities. We are part of a 23-member Virginia Community College system. We have over 72,000 credit-bearing students and over 2,600 faculty and staff members. We are the largest educational institution here in the Commonwealth and the second largest community college in the United States. We offer 6 campus locations, including our medical education campus right here in Springfield. We are accredited by the Commission on Colleges by SACS, the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools. We offer more than 160 degrees at the associate's level. We're a top 5 choice for area high school graduates, and we are repeatedly recognized for our teaching excellence. So you're in good hands taking courses at NOVA. Now, on to the benefits of actual dual enrollment. One of the great things about dual enrollment is that you're able to receive both high school and college credit by taking one class. And this can really help students avoid that duplication of courses when they go off to college. I was a French major, but I always say my favorite course was calculus because it was simply a repeat of my high school calculus course. So it really helps students not have to retake those high-level courses once they go on to college. You're guaranteed college credit with a C or better. We sort of say a C or better. A D is technically passing, but you can't use a D to transfer to another institution. So we say C or higher is going to be that guaranteed college credit. A lot of people ask us questions about the differences between dual enrollment and AP. And unlike AP, which is based on that high stakes test at the end of the year, at the end of the course, you're earning that college credit throughout the semester, and you're earning that credit based on multiple tiers of work that you complete. Dual enrollment really helps students transition from high school to college. They're learning college expectations, they're learning how to read a syllabus, they're learning the difference in assessment policies oftentimes. So it really helps students be well prepared when they go off to college full time. Because again, these are actual college classes. Certainly can help you lower the cost of post-secondary education. The courses that you take at your high school are offered at free tuition. So that really puts a big dent in those coursework bills at the end of the year. NOVA dual enrollment students are NOVA students. So you're allowed to use all of our campus resources and participate in any events and activities at our college. A lot of studies going on. I mean, we're throwing around a lot of college credit and a lot of national studies, a lot of studies here in the state of Virginia. And what we're finding is all very positive, all very good news. Students who participate in dual enrollment courses have higher high school graduation rates, higher college, higher college enrollment rates. They have higher persistence and retention rates once they're in college. Higher GPAs in college, and they're completing those bachelor's degrees in 4 years at a higher rate than their peers who are not taking dual enrollment classes. There are definitely some expectations of students who take dual enrollment. Self-advocacy, being an independent learner, these are very important steps. I see in the chat some people are asking about accommodations. And again, those are all things that we expect you to do as a student, as a learner, to be advocating for yourself. If you have an issue with a course, an issue with an instructor, be advocating for yourself and not relying on mom and dad to do that for you. And good time management and study skills is definitely a must for dual enrollment students. When we hear from former DE students, the #1 thing they tell us is time management. Make sure you keep up with your work, make sure that you're tracking your work, and don't get behind because it's just so hard with the amount of work that has to be done to try to play catch up. These college courses are certainly going to be academically challenging, and they're really for students who are ready to focus on academics. If you have 37 other things going on in your life and you just don't know if you can make school a priority, then perhaps college coursework is not right for you at this time. Your grades will be part of your permanent college transcript. And I sometimes will have students say to me, oh, but Mrs. Dearman, I'm not attending NOVA, so it's fine if I fail that class because I'm not coming to NOVA. But students must, it is state law and for federal financial aid reasons as well, that students must submit those college transcripts to wherever they're attending. So even if you're not coming to NOVA after high school graduation, you have to send any college you plan to attend the NOVA transcript. So it's important to take the courses seriously. It's important to take those grades seriously. We do sometimes find that the grading policy may differ at the high school than in the dual enrollment class in the college course. Some things may be different, retake policies, sometimes final exams, things like that. So it is important for students to really follow your syllabus, really look at the course expectations, how you will be graded, and ask any questions ahead of time. Again, that syllabus is also going to have a lot of important dates and deadlines in it that are really important for you to look at and learn. Once you apply to NOVA, you receive a NOVA student ID, or something we lovingly refer to as your EMPLID, and that number is going to stick with you forever. So if you come to NOVA after high school graduation, that number will stick with you. It is very important that after you apply to Nova, you understand what your username and password are, and you go ahead and log into your MyNova account. You'll want to be very familiar with MyNova and be in there often. You're going to be able to check your enrollment, request transcripts. Obviously, you're going to be able to check your grades in there. So it's very important that you're familiar with MyNova. If you want to send emails through your VCCS email account, that's how you're going to access that. Accessing Canvas to see your course or instructor information, that's all in MyNova. So again, very important that you understand how to get into MyNova. Enrollment. So we, the Office of Dual Enrollment, will go ahead and enroll you in your courses. And that will begin in the next few weeks as we start to receive rosters from the high schools. We will go ahead and enroll you in your course. A lot of you this year used our brand new exciting system called dualenroll.com. We were really excited to roll this out a little ahead of schedule, but COVID had other ideas about paper forms for us. So we asked our students to go in and create these accounts in dualenroll.com in order for us to process your enrollment paperwork. My slides have a mind of their own today, so I apologize. If for some reason you realize that you're not enrolled in your class, again, not yet because we haven't received our class rosters, but come September when high school starts, you really need to check that schedule and make sure you're in there. I do see some questions in the chat flying through about the schedule. So your high school classes are going to meet for the entire school year, and you're going to be enrolled in your Nova courses, which will probably be 2 semester courses, the majority of our courses, not all, some are year long. So for example, if you're taking English 12 or English 11, you're actually enrolled in 2 Nova courses, English 111 and English 112. They will have you distinct start and end dates and distinct drop and withdrawal dates as well. And we'll talk about those in a minute. Your course syllabus is always going to be your go-to to find out what those dates are and any other pertinent information, again, about grading, things like that. But we do follow the high school schedule and not the Nova schedule. So at the college, we are getting ready on Monday to kick off our fall semester. Your semester, again, will kick off concurrent with your high school schedule. So we do run a separate schedule. Speaking of dates, if you want to drop a course, you do need to notify your teacher and your school counselor. And for a fall semester course, that date is going to be October the 4th. If you're in a year-long class, for example, Bus 116, our entrepreneurship course, that drop date will be 10/25. And again, these dates will be on your syllabus. If you find that the course is not for you and you want to withdraw from it, again, you will speak to your dual enrollment instructor to request that withdrawal, and you'll have a W on your transcript. If you drop the course, it's as if you never enrolled, so it will not appear on your transcript for Nova. If you withdraw from the course, you will have a W on your transcript. A W does not impact your GPA at the college. Obviously, you'll still be enrolled in a high school course, and you'll need to work that out with your high school counselor. It is critical that you log, again, into that MyNova account to verify that you have been dropped or withdrawn from the course as you wish. Some of the courses do have what we call course prerequisites, especially our math courses. The spring semester classes like English 112 would mean you had to complete and pass English 111, things like that. So again, those course prerequisites are there for specific classes. And again, your school counselor should know about those prerequisites. There are also always, if you search for the course on the Nova website, you can see what those prerequisites are as well. Academic warning and probation. This is something that our Arlington students really have to be careful about because our Arlington students are amazing and they are taking so many Nova dual enrollment classes, which is really exciting. But your Nova GPA, again, we need to guard that. We need to be very careful. And if you're on academic warning or academic probation, that can have some serious consequences for you. When you could be told you can't take any more classes or you can only take limited classes until we can get that GPA up. So again, very important that you watch those grades. Two very positive aspects would be our Dean's List. So students that have more than 6 credits in a semester and maintain a GPA of 3.5 at NOVA are placed on the Northern Virginia Community College Dean's List, and your transcript reflects this honor. A presidential scholar is for students who have taken 9 or more credits in a semester with a GPA of 3.75. Again, you're recognized as a presidential scholar on your NOVA transcript. As I mentioned earlier, tuition is completely free of charge in the current academic year. Any courses that you take within your high school for dual enrollment are going to be free of charge. Arlington Public Schools has also made such a strong commitment in our partnership that they also take care of textbooks and other course materials for you. Courses that are taken online or on campus are offered at our current tuition and fee schedule, which can be found in that link. And again, so the dual enrollment courses can be taken at NOVA, but they are not, unfortunately, free tuition. Financial aid is not really that important for our dual enrollment students. Federal law says that you're not eligible to receive federal financial aid while you're in high school, but it is, again, important to pay attention to that transcript, pay attention to those grades, because receiving a lot of Fs could impact your eligibility to receive financial aid in the future. So again, one low grade, one course withdrawal is probably not going to have a bad impact on financial aid, but several course withdrawals, several course failing courses could be detrimental. Hold and retake. So all of you dual enrollment students have a few holds on your account, usually 2. And these are there per state policy. The reason we have these holds on your account are to ensure that you cannot register yourself for a class because as a dual enrollment student, you have different placement guidelines. The reason for this is that most of our students come to us with high school diplomas, and that high school diploma is sort of your ticket to say, I have at least basic math and English readiness skills. Since y'all don't have that, you have to meet different placement requirements as a dual enrollment student per the VCCS. So those holds will stay on there until you graduate from high school. Once you graduate from high school, if you're working in our Pathway to the Baccalaureate program, or you come to NOVA, you'll meet with a first-year advisor, and they'll be able to remove all those holds for you once you have that high school diploma or your final high school transcript. Retaking DE courses, this is something that, again, you have to be very careful about. So if you take a NOVA class and you don't like your grade and you want to improve upon it, you can retake the course on a NOVA campus or through NOVA online. In some cases, you may be able to retake it as dual enrollment in your high school, but those situations are fairly rare. Whatever the last letter grade you earn will replace the previous grade. So if it's worse, it's still going to replace it. It's not the higher of the grades. And then that grade, that second grade or the last attempt, is what's going to be used in your GPA. Any students who have IEPs or 504s through the high school and want to see if they can use similar accommodations on the NOVA side of the world must seek those accommodations through NOVA's Disability Support Services. This is really, really important. So we as a college are bound by different guidelines than the high schools. And so we don't follow 504s or IEPs for the college grade. Obviously, the high school will continue to follow the IEP and 504 for the high school grade. But you may be eligible to have those same accommodations at NOVA. But it is important that you start that process and start it now if you would like to see if you can receive those services. Everything can be done virtually, so you don't have to worry about trying to come to a campus or meeting with somebody. Everything can be taken care of virtually. You need to tell the disability services as you start this process. You just need to make sure that they understand that you're a dual enrollment student and you may not yet be enrolled for your course. They know how to work with you. They're excellent at working with our dual enrollment students, but it is important to let them know. We have a lot of academic support services available to you as NOVA students. We have NOVA tutors that are available free of charge. Tutor.com provides free 24/7 tutoring and paper review, again, to any NOVA student. And again, as a dual enrollment student, you are fully a NOVA student. You can get assistance with understanding lectures, preparing for an assessment, study skill and time management skills, paper reviews. Some of our campuses have a separate writing center from the tutoring center, and some it's all incorporated. But again, any of this support for tutoring for your courses or writing support specifically are all free of charge to Northern Virginia Community College students. So we highly recommend you take advantage of those. NOVA has incredible library services. We have a full range of online library resources. We always have, but of course it's even more important given our current environment. We're not exactly sure how much of the campus library resources are going to be available this fall. I would say very limited. So really take advantage of those online library services. Our librarians can help you when you're researching for different papers for your class or research documents that you need to do. They can help you with so many things. So really try to take advantage of using our library services. NOVA cards. So as a NOVA student, you are eligible to receive a NOVA student ID card. It is a little tricky right now. You can start this whole process online, but we will warn you that you do have to come to a campus to actually pick up that NOVA card. And you need to bring an ID so that they know who you are and can prove who you are to pick that up. So you may want to put that off a little bit. You do have to be officially enrolled in your NOVA dual enrollment course. And again, we will be beginning that process soon, and that the enrollment process will really kick into high gear in September once school has restarted. You can visit the website and search NOVA card to find out more specific information about requesting your student ID card. NOVA does have a lot of different clubs and activities. Most are able to continue in a remote environment. Obviously not all of our sports and activities, but we do have esports, which is pretty cool. So again, check those out online as you are able to get involved in any of the NOVA clubs and activities as NOVA students. We've talked a lot about college transcripts, so I don't want to go on and on, but again, it's very important that you take your coursework seriously, you take your grades seriously. Everything will show up on that college transcript at the end. So it's your final NOVA grade. So unlike a little bit what you're used to at the high school level, we do not have grading that appears throughout. You won't be able to see that in your MyNOVA account. You're going to be able to see final grades. You're going to be able to see any W's or those withdrawals, your GPA by semester, and any other special academic standings like we discussed earlier, that Dean's List, or on the flip side, that academic probation. Please do note that your NOVA grade may be different than your high school grade for several reasons. One is just simply the structure of the course. So again, if you're taking, I'll use English as a great example again. If you're taking an English class, if you're taking physics class, they're two different NOVA courses. So you'll have a unique end grade for the NOVA English 111 course, and then the grade book resets itself for English 112. Nothing from English 111 is carried over in the NOVA grading system for English 112. So there may be differences right there. NOVA doesn't use plus or minuses in our grading policy, our grading scale, so you wouldn't see any pluses or minuses as well. We sometimes do have different grading policies, although with Arlington Public Schools, that is fairly rare. But there may be a time where for the high school grade, maybe they're grading you on something that's high school specific versus something required for the college course. So those grades might differ at the end of the year, so don't be alarmed about that. Again, really important to be checking that MyNOVA account to see what those grades look like. Requesting a transcript can be done as soon as the final grades are in the system. And again, you will need to request those transcripts if you want to transfer those grades to another college or university. So if you're a student that takes great dual enrollment classes, you decide you want to then transfer those classes over to UVA, you'll have to request the NOVA transcript be sent to UVA or wherever it is that you'd like to go, because the other colleges and universities will not give you college credit based on high school transcript. You'll definitely have to send the college transcript. Nothing on your transcript is going to be any different than any other NOVA student. So it's not going to indicate that your class was taken as dual enrollment on your transcript. It is simply the NOVA college transcript. After high school graduation, you are obviously strongly encouraged to attend NOVA. As I said earlier, that NOVA student ID or EMPL ID will be the same throughout your career at NOVA. Your MyNOVA login information also remains the same. You should not try to reapply to NOVA. That can cause issues. Usually it stops you from reapplying and won't let you proceed, but you definitely don't ever need to reapply to NOVA once you have that NOVA ID number. Once you graduate from high school, you'll want to attend an online orientation more than likely, and or meet with a NOVA advisor to get you on the right path. It's going to be important that they program place you into the correct program plan, into the correct major for what you want to do. And that also helps you to be eligible for financial aid. Again, if you want to transfer your credits to another college or university, you may absolutely do so. And you'll follow that link provided for transcripts in order to get that done. NOVA has some really great transfer partnerships and transfer agreements. The best one out there right now is with George Mason University called Advance. I highly encourage you to take a look at that program. Advance is going to allow you to start at NOVA, complete that associate's degree, continue on through Advance with one advisor, one program. Everything is fully aligned, and there are over 100 majors available in the advanced program, so it's very strong. We also have great partnerships with both private and public colleges and universities. As I mentioned earlier, NOVA is one of the largest community colleges in the United States and has a strong reputation. So our credits do transfer. It's usually the number one question that parents ask me. How about transferring? Absolutely, our credits transfer very strong, and colleges and universities view dual enrollment very highly. They view it as college work, and it is viewed as you taking challenging and rigorous courses. So you don't have to worry about that as well. And lastly, NOVA's dual enrollment program has recently received national accreditation. There's an accrediting body for dual enrollment programs called NACEP, the National Alliance of Concurrent Enrollment Partnerships, and NOVA has recently earned that accreditation. So again, that just supports the fact that the credits that you are earning through dual enrollment are equal to those same credits that a student would receive if you attended on campus. So it's a huge testament to the instructors that you have in Arlington Public Schools and how well they work to ensure that the class you're taking is truly a college course and is truly preparing you. So as we just get ready to conclude the formal presentation part and we can switch over to answering some questions, I have our contact information. On the left side of the page is a little bit of the dual enrollment information, my direct email address, as well as the dual enrollment email. And then on the right side are the folks on today, as well as other important folks in Arlington Public Schools that can help you with any Arlington specific questions. And I just want to, again, briefly close with telling you congratulations on choosing to take a dual enrollment course. It is absolutely exciting for those of us at NOVA to let you get involved in the college, let you get that jump start, head start on your college education. And we're thrilled that you've chosen Northern Virginia Community College. And we know that you are definitely setting yourself up on a great path and a path of success. So I'm going to switch over and try to see if there's any questions in this chat that I can answer. Any panelists, please feel free to unmute if there's anything you want to address by speaking instead of trying to go back through and address everything in the chat.
Amy, yes, I will take a minute while you kind of just review a few of the questions and say thank you for that presentation. That's amazing. And just for our APS families, know that we are fully committed to our partnership with NOVA. We think it is an amazing resource for our students, and it provides a great resource for them as they prepare for life after high school, whether that be a 2-year degree, a 4-year degree, or immediately going to work or military service, whatever the case may be. Dual enrollment classes are very effective at preparing our kids for the challenges that await them and the opportunities that await them after school. So we've seen a lot of questions on the side. I want to make one thing clear about with regard to the availability of this presentation. It will be available. We're producing an APS YouTube channel, and we're populating it with some of the things we think our families might need to know as we enter school under our unique circumstances. So you'll see information there. This will be included in that. It is not yet developed, but it is in that is going on right now, is in progress. So we'll have that available for you. So I can turn it back over. Thanks, Amy.
Thank you. Absolutely. I do see a couple of questions in here about are NOVA tutors available to help students with non-dual enrollment classes? Unfortunately, they are not. We do provide tutoring and writing support only for Northern Virginia Community College courses. As Ty mentioned, we are definitely going to be sending out the presentation for viewing as well as the slides to anybody who signed up, as well as making it available on that YouTube channel, which is exciting.
I see a couple questions that I could answer. It said that you said, Ms. Pearl, I believe, says you said something about only the last grade counts for your GPA. What does that mean? So the final grade is the only grade that is used to calculate your GPA. The grades that you get during the quarter help establish that grade, but then the final grade is what is calculated into your GPA. And then a follow-up question to that is there a grade bump for dual enrollment classes? And the answer to that is yes. Arlington Public Schools recognizes AP, IB, and dual enrollment in the same way. They all receive a full grade point increase in their weighting. So it's an excellent opportunity for students to increase their GPA to make them a more attractive candidate for post-secondary learning.
There are definitely some questions about accommodations or disability services. Again, accommodations would be, if you have a 504 and IEP, perhaps you need to use a listening device. Perhaps you need extra time on an exam. Perhaps you need questions read orally due to a processing issue or something. Those are all accommodations that might be handled through your special education services in Arlington. And again, those are things that you may want to see if you can also have those same accommodations made for the NOVA dual enrollment college course and for the college grade. But again, because colleges and universities are not bound by those same laws, we operate under different laws. You need to request accommodations through NOVA's disability services. That will be done completely virtually, and the process can be started online.
There's a question I'm going to ask my colleague Louis Villafane if he's able to answer with regard to if a student graduates Arlington Tech High School with enough GE credits for an associate's degree, how should they plan to go onto 4-year college as a high school applicant or as a transfer student? That's a great question. Maybe Nova can answer that too. I'm not sure if Louis is able to be with us. Is there any guidance?
Some of that from the NOVA side. Certainly it's going to depend on each college because they'll look at it depending on how many credits they have. Typically when you earn a full associate's degree, you're going to come in as a transfer student, but a lot of times they still say that you are a freshman, and they do that not for academic reasons, but for social reasons. So they'll still want you maybe to be in a dorm with students your age. One of the things that the 4-year universities sort of warn us about is while you may be ready to be a junior academically, you're still 18 and the first time maybe living away from home, things like that. So they will likely still place you as a freshman for social reasons, but certainly the academics, the transcript will reflect more than likely that you're a junior already. One of the huge benefits to earning that associate's degree at Nova, whether it's through dual enrollment or through a combination of dual enrollment and after graduation, is that if you transfer to a Virginia senior public institution, you are automatically done with your general education requirements at that senior institution. They cannot make you retake any of those gen ed courses. Sometimes they make you go back in and take a different course within your major. But again, Nova has these strong partnerships. We have pathways on our website, so you can really look at what you want to major in, where you believe you're going to attend, and it will create the pathway for you. So it will tell you if you want to go to JMU and you want to major in psychology, you should take these courses, because we've worked with JMU to align those courses, and they will take those courses. So a lot of great transfer information on Nova's website if you look under transfer.
Amy, there's a question from Lewis. Lewis is having a hard time unmuting. Is there something that you could do on your end to give him an opportunity to do that? I'm not sure if he was invited as a panelist or not.
I don't think I can if he's a panelist.
Okay. Okay, Lewis, I'm sorry. We're going to have to, maybe you can answer in writing in the chat. If not, you can, all you have his contact information. You can reach out to him for that question. Another question that's coming up a lot is, what is the difference between synchronous and asynchronous? And we've answered it a couple times up above in the chat, but I think it's worth talking about a little bit. We view synchronous learning as the interactive exchange between teacher and student in real time. There's an immediate question and response. There's immediate, feedback from the teacher to the student and vice versa. There's immediate engagement between student and maybe small groups. It can occur virtually, or when we move back to hybrid, obviously it can happen in person. So synchronous means it is in real time, in one-to-one, small group to teacher engagement. Asynchronous is when the teacher has developed a lesson that is going to be completed absent the teacher's immediate presence. The teacher has offered a video of a conversation or a small lecture, a demonstration of some sort, and then the student is going to work alone, maybe with a peer or two, maybe with someone else, to complete the task and then submit that task for the teacher to review. Also asynchronously. There will probably be a review of that exercise when the synchronous part of the lesson begins again, but the work will be done asynchronously. That's what our Mondays are going to look like, and that is what some of our Tuesday through Fridays will look like as well. So there'll be a synchronous component, which is a dynamic interaction in real time, and then there will be some where the students are working alone to solve problems. Hope that answers that.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, we got you, Lewis. I think we can hear you.
All right, thank you. What was the question, Ty? I'm sorry, can you repeat it?
I think Amy answered it. It was about what would happen if a student graduated from Arlington Tech with credits sufficient to have earned an associate's degree, and how should they compete for enrollment at the college level, the four-year college level, as a high school graduate or something else. Did I get that right, Amy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, my counsel number one would be to work through the counselor that this child is assigned to help them with that process, because if they graduate with an associate's degree or a lot of degrees or a lot of credits from Nova, that all will be extremely beneficial when they apply to college. I don't know that I have one answer, except that to work through the counselors that have a lot of experience in working with the student through that process of applying to college, and how to outline that in the application process. Someone asked a question about automotive technology and how is it that it's going to be taught in an online environment. And the best answer that I have right now is that I do know that the teachers, number one, have been working on this, knowing that we're going to be going virtual 100%, and all of them, including auto tech. But I'll know that that they're working on, for example, video presentation that they can use to show students some of the practical side of auto tech when they're not able to do it in the lab at the school. So either they're creating some, or they already have some that are available that the students will be able to use It's not obviously the same as being in the laboratory in the school, but they're working on that. And what they also may do is front load a little bit of the actual classroom side of it in the fall of the school year, and with the hope that maybe if we're able to ever go back, when I mean ever, I'm hoping that we will be able to go back in the hybrid model so that they can present more of that lab side once students return. But they're working on it, and they will continue to work on it with their curriculum supervisor.
Great, thank you, Lewis. There's a question about the semester quarter deferral possible time frame. Is possibility time frame? Can you answer that question, Amy? I'm not sure what's being asked. Is a semester quarter deferral possible at this time?
I'm not sure either, to be honest with you. Maybe that person can help us elaborate a little and help us understand.
It's coming from Max. Okay, I see it down the bottom. Uh-oh, where did it go? Was there?
Max, I don't know if you're asking from the perspective of the college or the high school. Obviously at the college, you can enroll, anytime and take classes. You can skip a semester, certainly. It's obviously going to work a little different in the high school. But from the college perspective, you can definitely come in and out any semesters, including the summer semester, that are convenient for you.
Amy, I'd like to add to that at APS. This is Anna Lily Caballero, APS NOVA coordinator. All of our courses are full year round, so we are unable to defer a semester or quarter since it takes the whole school year.
Another question about the acceptance rate at a Virginia State University. Would it differ for a DE student who has an associate's degree? Typically, yes. And again, we also have a lot of guaranteed admissions agreements, which are really important to check out on NOVA's website that you could take advantage of if you earn that associate's degree. So typically, yes, if you're earning that full associate's degree, you're going to go in as a different kind of applicant. I can't guarantee it, but more than likely, yes, you would go in as that transfer applicant. And again, especially with the Virginia State University, we have those agreements with the VCCS. So all of your gen ed requirements are automatically met with that degree.
I don't think this was answered, but I may be wrong. I see a question that says my 11th grader has 5 DE classes this year. Is that too many? There's not let me start by saying that there's not a one specific answer, but I mean, 5 DE classes is a very heavy load. And academically, he or she may be able to be successful with 5 DE classes. But there are other things to keep in mind besides the academic, not only rigor, but whether the student can handle 5 DE classes academically. There is the stress level that the students may experience, or may not experience, but that could experience. There's the time management. There is the anxiety that could occur as a result. Will that allow a student to have time to do anything else outside of those, the very heavy school load that the student will have, which all of those things need to be taken into consideration, because while schoolwork is important, especially as we prepare to college, it's not the only thing in life. So I mean, obviously, you know your son or daughter best, but I think that while a lot of students, not a lot, but while some students have that heavy load, I would take all of those things into consideration besides the academic component of taking 5 DE classes, because we also want students to remain happy and healthy.
If I could jump on again about the synchronous and asynchronous, thanks for that, Lewis. But the synchronous and asynchronous, you don't actually select those. That's just our delivery model during this time of distance and in person. So while we're distance, there's going to be a combination of both of them. Unfortunately, we can't choose which one we're going to use, because we're going to have to use both of them to introduce new material, review old material, to provide assessments, and do all those things. So we're going to do it that way for all students. I think there was another question, but I've lost it. I'll let you go back to you, Amy.
Yeah, can I just jump in on that side too? I want parents to feel really comfortable with the teaching and learning that's going to go on. Arlington Public Schools has a very strong plan, and it's also backed by Northern Virginia Community College's expertise in online education. So NOVA has been doing online education for a number of years, and we are absolutely considered experts in the Commonwealth as well as across the nation with our NOVA online platform. So all of those NOVA online resources are available. Our hybrid teaching resources are also available. The Arlington teachers can take any of those trainings. They can use those course materials. So please also feel confident and comfortable not only in the plan put in place by APS, but also the full support in the dual enrollment side of Northern Virginia Community College to support those teachers and support the learning that will be going on, as well as support you students with some of the things that we've already talked about.
Lewis, there's another interesting question about dual enrolled classes at Arlington Tech that may not be offered at the comprehensive high schools.
Okay.
Do you see that one?
Yeah, I think I saw it earlier. The two different answers. Number one, the classes that are offered, the dual enrolled classes that are your core classes, mainly science, social studies, English, and math, and there's always an exception to that, which I will tell in a second. They are mainly for our full-time Arlington Tech students. For example, the dual enrolled U.S. history or government is solely for our full-time students. CTE classes, on the other hand, our dual enrolled CTE classes are available to all the comprehensive and programs across the county. And I don't want to get into weeds too much, but then one exception in the math course, for example, would be if a student is taking our computer programming course, a DE programming course at the Career Center, we also allow them to take dual enrolled pre-calculus or calculus 2, because it marries the computer programming class. So that would be a separate conversation with your counselor, but as a general rule, the full-time dual enrolled core classes are offered only to the full-time Arlington Tech Career Center students. I hope I answered the question.
I see that Anna Lily, do you have something to add to that? I see you've responded in the chat.
No, that's correct.
Okay.
It was mentioned, yes,
Awesome.
about pure classes at the Career Center.
Lewis, there's lots of questions about the media class.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. You mean the TV production?
Yeah, for students taking a media class that usually involves special software on the school computers at the Career Center, how will that software be made available to students taking the class online this year?
I cannot give you an answer at this time. I except to say that I do know that, for example, Tom O'Day, who is the TV production teacher, is working and will be working with his curriculum supervisor, the supervisor of CTE classes, to try to develop that and come up with a plan. And so I wish I could give you a specific answer of how will that be utilized, especially when there's so much in the classroom. But I'm hopeful, and I know that the teachers will be able to, the TV production teacher will be able to have a plan forth so that students will be taught all of the curriculum.
So once the school year begins and teachers start to get a sense of what's possible and what isn't, we'll be able to
Yeah,
office.
That's what I would share, that I know that you have questions right now as parents that we may not be able to answer all of them, but teachers are back on Monday, and they will be for the next 2 weeks receiving instruction, guidance, training, and on how to best address the needs of the students the needs of the students while we're 100% virtual. So you also want to give teachers a little bit of leeway over the next couple of weeks to plan how to make that happen so that students learn the entire curriculum.
Thank you, Louis. Anna Lily, I think there's a good one for you to answer here. If our student took a class over the summer through NOVA that was non-dual enrollment, can they get it on their APS transcript?
Oh, thanks, Ty. I was just replying to that.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah. It depends on the course, and I have to say it has to go through the actually Ty's office. So you would have to discuss with your counselor and submit that to Lisette Mosquera, who works in the secondary education office. And we can look at that. We can look at the transcript, and if it is a course that is aligned with our APS curriculum, then certainly we can look at that. We also look at the number of weeks the class, was taken overall and things like that. So it would have to depend on the course, I would have to say.
Thank you, Anna Lily.
APS team, is it too late? I've seen this question a few times. Is it too late to sign up for a dual enrollment class? The other question that they seem to be asking is, can they take a class at the Career Center since you're virtual?
The answer is yes. Speaking specifically for dual enroll CTE classes, just about all of them, and there's a few exceptions to that, but just about all of them are offered to all comprehensive high schools and program like HB, Woodlawn. They are offered, and most of the students actually would have signed up for those classes during the enrollment period that happened last winter, spring, and February. So if students signed up for those courses, no matter what program and what high school they are in, yes, they're still enrolled in those. And as long as no one's called the counselor saying to unenroll me, those students are still enrolled in there and will be able to remain in those classes. And I do think a little bit of a question as to whether or not Arlington Career Center students have preference in those dual enroll CTE classes. And the answer is really no. I mean, I as the director keep account of all the students, not only counting our Career Center students full-time, plus across all the district at the high schools. And the only way that I would close the class is if it's full. But I'm not looking at necessarily how many, I'm not giving preferences, let's just say. So the CTE classes and the dual enroll CTE classes are available to everyone in the county.
There's also a question about, and I think it was answered, but just so Cheryl knows, Cheryl, for that Intro to Criminal Justice class, work with, if you're the student or you're the parent, work with the high school counselor to make that request and see if that class could work for high school credit as well.
I'm sorry, I did not hear that question. I was reading another one. Could you repeat that for me, Amy?
Yes. Cheryl wanted to know that her child took a class over the summer at Nova, a criminal justice class, and she was wondering if her student could get a high school credit for that. So it's possible, but they just need to work through the high school counselor to get that process started for the review of that course.
Okay, and I see Anna Lily was responding to that. Do you want to continue to respond, Anna Lily?
Yes, I'll send a message right along.
Okay, so she's responding to that.
Yeah, just to send the information through the counselor, and then they'll put it through the Office of Secondary Education, and then we can take a look at that.
Lots of people asking if they can get another dual enrollment class on their schedule. Would they contact the high school counselor if that's the route they would like to go?
Yes.
At this point, yes, I agree with Louis to contact their school counselor. It's going to depend, you know, the counselors are in the process of creating schedules right now in classes. And as Louis mentioned before, we got to take a look at the number to see if, you know, we maxed out in certain classes. You know, if it's still available, then certainly we can work with each of the students. But it's going to be contacting your counselor firsthand, and then we can work through the process with students.
And Louis, there's another question about DE, CTE classes taken at high school versus those at the Career Center. Do you see that from?
Yeah, I see it. I just saw it. I'm trying to read it here.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to figure out if there's, it's saying that if there's a difference in the DE, CTE classes. I mean, I'm not sure that I understand 100% of the question. Is it that student, is there a difference between a dual enroll versus a CTE class taken at the high school? If that's,
I think it's a DE CTE class, and there's no difference there. They have the same curricular expectations,
right,
whether they're taught at ACC or at one of the comprehensive high schools. So there's no difference there. The next part of the question is, I think, what maybe you could answer about a class being full or no.
Right. If your student is not at a comprehensive high school,
Right.
HB, and their class is already I think I may have addressed a little bit of this, which is basically I don't give priority as Career Center students versus, let's say, HB students. I look at, as to what, like Anna just said, I look at whether the class is full. And if the class is full, then, and I keep in touch, just to let everyone know, I keep in touch. I communicate with the high school directors and on if the classes are full at the Career Center, the CTE classes or not. So it depends on the size of the class and whether it's full or not as to whether students can enroll. But there's no preference given one school over another. And it says, when will I know if a student did not get into the DE class that they signed up for? I would say contact the counselor, the child's counselor at the high school. They would be able to tell you whether or not your child got into the class that they requested. So
I'm going to answer this last question about.
I just want to give everybody a warning. We may get kicked off of Zoom. So we definitely need to wrap up. Ty, we'll let you finish, but we may, if this just shuts down on us, just to warn everyone.
All right, thank you for that. And thank you everyone for your time. Again, these are all great questions. We're gonna collect this information, these questions, and we'll do our best to answer them in some form. If you didn't get your question answered tonight, please reach out to us on the contact information that's available, and we'll do our best to get back to you. One of the questions I wanted to touch on was, will Career Center classes be held at the Career Center when we go into hybrid learning? We're going to follow the guidance of our health experts with regard to mixing and intermingling of student populations. Thus far, we've been told that we're not going to be able to do that. We're not going to be able to go to the Career Center from the comprehensive high schools. Students who are taking a Career Center class, let's say from Wakefield, are going to have to participate in that class from distance until Health and Human Services tells us it's safe for us to mingle those populations.
one last question, Amy. When will Arlington Tech send out confirmation of student classes? The answer is either the end of next week or early the following week. Either late next week or early the following week, sorry.
Okay, Amy, I think, we could answer them all night.
Right, absolutely. Our contact information, again, is in the presentation. So if you have other specific questions, please feel free to reach out to the high school counselor or reach out to any of us directly. On behalf of NOVA, I thank you so much for your decision to take a college course. and wish everyone the very best of luck in this crazy school year.
Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.